I think we're lucky, both of us, in that sense, that I have obviously the personal story with my sister, which before I would have heard it from her, I growing up, as I say, when I was younger, I was into philosophy, as I said just before the call. And so I'm a very skeptical young guy. And thankfully now I have that personal story, to help me get over that barrier. But I think some of the resistance to your views is often from the traditional scientific community, when there's so much in pharmacology with, for example, the case of cancer, chemotherapy, you have all these treatments and that sort of thing. And in that way, there's quite a lot of resistance to it. What would you say to those people who say, are you trying to deny traditional medicine? What would you say to them? Do you think there's a place for both?
Oh, absolutely. I think medicine is great. I have no opinion of whether it's good or bad. It has helped a lot of people. And it works really, really well, Ali, when you're dealing with acute conditions. You break your arm, you have your appendix rupture, you need a blood transfusion because you have a car accident. When you're looking at acute conditions, medicine is just elite when it comes to that. We've really done a great job with it. But when you're looking at chronic health conditions, whether it's type 2 diabetes, whether it's high blood pressure, whether it's early stages of immune-mediated conditions, chronic health conditions require a lifestyle change, a behavioral change to make different choices. And the hardest part really about change is making a new choice and not making the same choice that you did the day before. And so then if you're truly going to understand that you have a hand in your own personal healing and change, then the process of you making those changes so that whatever type of treatment you're doing will work better for you. Now, there's a whole variation. Some people choose conventional medicine. Some people choose alternative healthcare. But in the end, the person is working on making the change. And that means then that they're doing the work to change. They do their meditations to change the way they think, to change the way they act, and to change the way they feel. And how you think, how you act, and how you feel is your personality. And so then that personality that's thinking the same way, feeling the same way, and acting the same way has pretty much a certain life that is equal to that personality. Get a person to stop thinking that way, stop acting that way, stop feeling that way. Give them the science of possibility and change. Combine the neuroscience with neuroendocrinology, with psychoneuroimmunology, with epigenetics, with electromagnetism, with quantum physics. Build a model of understanding and tell them that they're not doomed by their genes, hardwired to be a certain way for the rest of their life. Have them understand what they're doing. Have them understand why they're doing it. If the what and the why gets really clear, the how gets easier. And they can assign meaning to the act. Assign meaning means they're going to put their intention behind it. And when you have that kind of assignment to meaning, you switch on the forebrain, the prefrontal cortex, and it means business. And when the prefrontal cortex switches on, it silences the entire circuitry in the brain that says, this is what you're doing and you want an outcome. And so then the outcome gets greater when you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. So the person who's then understanding, if I start thinking differently, if I can fire and wire new circuits in my brain, if I can install hardware in there, and if I can keep doing this and I can keep remember to think this way, if I keep installing the circuitry, that'll become the new voice in my head, the new belief. If I start thinking about how I'm going to behave in my life and I rehearse in my mind how I'm going to be in certain circumstances, the research shows you could actually do the same thing. You could prime the brain for that behavior. If you start feeling the emotions that you would love to feel instead of the emotions you don't like to feel, and you're thinking differently, you're acting differently, and you're feeling differently, then your personality is beginning to change, and your biology will change as a result of it. So independent of whatever conventional treatment or unconventional treatment the person is embarking on, chronic health conditions a lot of times stay the same. And the effort to create chemical balance in the body never really changes the chronic health condition. It just mediates it so that the person can function in their life, but the condition still exists. So if the person is ready then to go to that next level and begin to change their lifestyle, change themselves, when they begin to change, their life begins to change. So we have data that suggests when people do that, they respond better to any treatment that they decide to do. And that's the beauty behind it.